I just want to tell you guys that is a big dog back there. It's like as big as a horse. It is huge. Anyway, this video is about a service call that I got from a longtime client. I've probably done 6, 7 service calls from him, so he calls me all the time. I think he owns a bunch of houses all over the place. He always says that he has to contact the owner, but I'm pretty sure it's him. And he sent me down here. Obviously, no hot water. That's where the water heater is, back in there. And that the valve is flashing and they don't have any idea what's going on. So I'm down here to check it out. All right, so this video is mostly a cautionary tale. This is a code 7 or 7 flash. You can count the flashes right there. That is a gas valve malfunction. I see that a lot when the sediment traps are screwed in directly to the valve right there. Actually, that trap isn't even working correctly. It's not installed correctly. So I'm actually going to relocate it underneath down here. And also the supply line is only about 3/8, the flexible supply line, so I'm going to increase that. I only have a 5/8 with me, so I'll be installing that. But I ended up having to come out to this job about 3 times. That's why it's the code 7 service call from hell. And that's because it just kept coming up code 7s on me. I had an issue where I ended up having to reuse that 3/8 supply line, and it was so badly corroded that it was leaking gas. And I show that later in this video. But I'm just getting started on it right now, shutting it down. And I will be disassembling the gas line and putting the sediment trap in its proper location. So the sediment trap needs to come and connect to the pipe directly off the wall so that any sediment in the line can hit the T, the back wall of the T, and drop into the leg of the sediment trap. And that's where the sediment goes. Here it is going into the valve. It's not even hitting the back leg at all, or the back wall of the T, because it's not coming in through the center part of the T. It's coming in through the top right there. So it's good to have those, but if you don't install them correctly and in the right location, then they're kind of useless. So I ended up having to drill into that wood platform and create a bigger opening for the larger flexible supply line. And just removing the sediment trap here to get it out of my way. So the valve kept coming up code 7. So I did all the work on this day. This was my first trip out. And it was fine when I left, except I ended up having to reuse that 3/8 flexible line. Long story. But it was so badly corroded that it started leaking. And I called the owner, and the owner said he would just come out and replace it. So he came out and replaced it. Obviously, we shut the water heater down and turned it off. He came out and replaced it with a new one. And then it still came up code 7 after he installed it. So I got that call. I came back out. I replaced that valve. Now what I do is I don't completely unscrew the valve from the water heater. You don't need to do that. It's in 3 stages. You have the cover and the motherboard, then you have the actual valve, sort of an aluminum valve in between. Then you've got sort of the well housing, and then the thermistor sensor that tells the motherboard what the water temperature is. So I just replaced the valve in between. And I had put a different cover on, or a different motherboard, but that actually came back with a code 2, and I checked the thermal pile voltage and it was fine. So I just went with the one that was there, the original cover or motherboard for the water heater. So that was my second trip out there, replacing the valve that I had already replaced once. And then I got a call for a third trip because it was still doing it. So it would run for who knows how long, maybe an hour. I think it turned out to be about a half an hour. And the tenant was not real good at communicating when the water was cold. She would just heat up her water on the stove and do like a sponge bath thing and just kind of make do. She was pretty hardy and not a complainer. But eventually it got back to my client, who would call me, and then I would get out there when she would end up letting me know when she's home. So on my third trip, that's when I was able to completely redo the sediment trap, run the larger line, and I've got a video in here. Everything was fine. I got a video in here. At the end, I waited about 25 minutes because I didn't want to come out a fourth time. There's the rip in the line right there. Okay, code 7 service call from hell. So this is my third trip out here. Oh wow, just went code 7. Live on video. You gotta love that. So that was my experience with it. Here's just some more shots. Turns out the solution was to replace the motherboard, and now all is well. Thank you so much for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you like this video and consider subscribing. Have a great day.